It's time to laugh along with This Little Parent Stayed Home with Ali Lopreet. This no-brainer tutorial will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue, offering the skills that you've already had. This Little Parent Stayed Home covers important issues, such as how to work as a family unit to make your dreams become a reality, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. So let's get empowered. It's time for This Little Parent Stayed Home. And now, here's your host, Ali Lopreet.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this evening's episode of This Little Parent Stayed Home on TogiNet Radio. This is the show that has the very bold mission to help 1 million parents bring their careers home and have the freedom to make their family their number one priority. I am your host of the hour, Ali Lopreet. I'm a speaker, business, and social media consultant, and I'm also an advocate for parents. Today, we're going to be talking about marketing and productivity, and I'm going to be bringing on a very special guest, Michelle McCullough. She's going to be coming on just a little bit later in the show to give us all some really great content that's going to help us grow our businesses through marketing and productivity. So, Danny Pie, how have you been this week?
I've been pretty good. I had a little incident with a charger where it burnt me. It's the craziest thing ever.
Like a phone charger?
Yeah, my phone charger. I don't know what happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you were talking about that Mercury in retrograde the other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, electronics going crazy on you?
I have to check the calendar, but I think that we have 2 days. I think we're 2 days left of Mercury retrograde, and oh yeah, it's amazing those things that go wrong. I mean, it's very easy to just blame everything that goes wrong on in electronics and miscommunications and Mercury in retrograde. But when it seems to be abundant, where there's just technology issues, and when people are just not following each other when it's coming to communication, Mercury in retrograde absolutely is a factor, and we just need to remember to go with the flow of energy and not against it. So I'm sorry that happened to you.
It was just an interesting experience to be woken up at 6 o'clock in the morning by being burnt by a phone charger. It was kind of interesting.
That is crazy. My goodness. Well, I just got back from my trip to New York, where I spent 2 days in a conference room with Tori Johnson and 8 like-minded ladies. Mm-hmm. And it was, I have to say, an absolute honor to be there working with these thought leaders and these women of influence. And, it was really amazing to kind of look around the room and say, wow, do I belong here? I guess I do. It was very validating. And, the 2 days that we were meeting it was only 8 of us, and it was like one big brainstorm, and I certainly learned a lot. And we basically we had to dig deep on what our goals are and then get focused on making it happen. And so I thought it would be great to share with you all some pretty big takeaways from my trip to New York. First, I felt like, it was really amazing for me to take a look at the level that I'm at right now and really kind of look at the struggles that I'm having now versus when I first got started in my business a few years ago. And, in the beginning, it's, that struggle is getting your business off the ground, finding creative ways to promote yourself when you don't have an ad budget. It's getting people to take you seriously when you don't yet have a proven track record, or maybe you don't have that credibility. And I remember that, and I know what it's like to be in that space, to be making all those sacrifices in your time and your budget and the attention that you're giving to your family. And all you really have is faith that you're going to get possibly some kind of a return for all your hard work. And then when you do break past that level and you actually have a business that is somewhat sustainable, it's all about growing it, outsourcing, upselling your clients with new products and services, revamping, rebranding, reevaluating your precious time, and making sure that your schedule is filled with money-making activities. And, it's also dealing with things that you never really thought you'd have to deal with, like, here, I'm completely authentic on the show here. It's dealing with things like haters and naysayers, people that you see, that you really admire from a distance. And then when that distance becomes shorter and all of a sudden you're sharing the stage with them, all of a sudden you realize that they want to stomp you out. They're threatened by you and your quick success. And that to me has probably been the most disheartening part of the level that I'm at right now. And, I didn't really want to know how cutthroat this industry is. I was happy being in the dark,
Aren't we all?
happy to be the little darling who maybe wasn't making any money yet, that everybody was just rooting for. It was really kind of confusing when I found that there were people that, that were threatened by me doing well, and that hurts. And so these are the things that you have to look forward to when you're on the up and up. But the biggest thing that I learned about myself during this intensive was how hard it currently is for me to stay focused. And I'm sure you understand this working with me, Danny, that I just get I have big visions and new ideas that are presented to me every day. And, it's really, you're in trouble when somebody asks you, where are you going? What is it you're trying to achieve? What do you want? And Tori Johnson kept asking me that. Well, what do you want, Allie? I love her brevity. What do you want? Just tell me, where is it you want to go? And I found myself very often sort of tongue-tied. Like, I don't know. I want to fill my Twitter workshop. I don't know. I fill my Twitter workshop. I want to have good guests on my show. I want advertisers. I want to be, I want to eventually move up to a television series. Like, there were so many things, but really I want to be able to send both my kids to the college of their choice and to afford some family vacations and to have some expendable income. But when the question became, where do you hope to be in 5 years, my head was overrun with too many ideas. And I realized that too many ideas are not necessarily the problem. It's having the wherewithal to organize those ideas into a system that will foster productivity. So, you know what I did? Came home from New York, and I created a new filing system for my desk. Mm-hmm. It's the idea file. I love it. Okay. It's a hard copy like Tickler, like an old-fashioned filer system. Because when the motors are in this machine, I'm pointing to my brain right now. You can't see me, but when the motors in this machine start to turn, there's just no stopping it. And the point is that I don't want to stop it, because having ideas is a good thing. It's what keeps my enthusiasm up. It's what keeps my momentum going. It's where dreamers like me excel. And I don't want to disrupt the flow of my visions. So I don't know. Everyone is different, but if you out there are listening, if you have a similar challenge, you have too many ideas coming at you, you really should capitalize on why that's a good thing and not let it overrun you and overcome all your productivity, because it really is what sets us apart from other personality types like critical thinkers. So if you're a dreamer like me, you want to know what your strength is and capitalize it without it burdening you. So now,
I understand that completely, because I'm so on that same page with you.
I need to give you a personality test, Danny. I can't wait. This is something, in fact, write this down, because we need to schedule a show all about the 4 different personalities. We want to do the personality quadrants. It's so eye-opening and amazing. And it really talks about the 4 different ways, the 4 different personality types. And there's no one better one than the other one when it comes to being an entrepreneur. It's just knowing how to approach your business based on where your strengths lie. And it also is about really knowing who to surround yourself with. Very often we surround ourselves with people that are like ourselves, but it's really better to surround ourselves with people who balance us out. That's when our businesses are going to flourish and be more productive. So make sure that you write that down. We put that on the schedule. We're going to figure that out. I don't know where, but I'm thinking.
It's on my to-do list.
Perfect. Okay. So that's a great example of how you and I need more structure in order to be productive. I need that structure because it's my weakest area. Ideas are great. Ideas flow out of me like carbon dioxide, but don't want to be burdened by those. And so that's why I was so excited that I created this Tickler idea. I have ideas. I have a file for my radio shows, a file for products and webinars, ideas for advertisers, ideas for my clients. And those are all the streams that I'm personally focused on at all times to see if my idea strays from one of these focuses. It's probably not going to be in alignment with my business intentions. So I need that structure. And that way I have a place to organize my thoughts, and I can just dump them from my mind when it becomes too distracting from my current focus task.
I find that Pinterest works awesome for me for that.
What works best for you?
Pinterest.
Oh, so you're not using it just to get ideas. You use it to actually organize your ideas.
Yeah, I use the secret boards on the Pinterest, And like I have my business one, my house one, and I put all these different things out there because they're just floating around in my head. And I'm really image driven. So if I see something out there and I'm like, oh, that's what I was thinking, I can throw it out there on my Pinterest board and I can come back to it later.
That's great advice. Mark that down. We need to have a Pinterest show.
Put that on the list.
I love it. We are organized. All right. So, I'm the ideal gal. I've always been good at marketing, promoting from an unconventional standpoint. And the bottom line, it's kind of like the rest of the world is lined up at the front door, around the block for miles to get their turn into that front door. But I'd rather see if there's like a back door to the place, that's me. And I've realized that's a really excellent, thing to have. That's a great quality to have, that those who are excelling in a competitive marketplace, they're willing to go to those unconventional routes. They're willing to bend the rules a little bit, and the way I see it, life is short. Really, how long do you have to wait before your business is giving you a return for all the hard work and sacrifice that you've made? So in a little bit, I'm going to be bringing on our great guest of the hour, Michelle McCullough. She's a serial entrepreneur. She's a sought-after business strategist and speaker. She's the show host for Make It Happen Radio here on TogiNet and Woohoo Radio. She's the creator of the Life Balance Myth, which I'm very much looking forward to learning more about, because I'm always talking about life balance, and she says it's a myth. So I want to know what that's about. I know, right? But I really do love Michelle. I love how structured she is. She is a dynamic speaker, and she has a lot of tremendous following from entrepreneurs that are women. So she's going to be a fantastic gift. She's going to be talking to us today about the Marketing Productivity Planner. Excellent for both you and I, right? We're going to be leaving the phone lines open today for callers. If you have a challenge, let me hear it. We're going to be able to work through it together. The toll-free line, if you have a challenge that you want for me to address live on the air, is 877-864-4869. Remember, this is the place that I would like for you to know that this is the place, this Little Parent Stay at Home Radio is your go-to place where we're always rooting for you, cheering you on, and where you know you can achieve anything you can envision. Whatever the challenge, bring it on. And we're on the other side of this break. We're going to be bringing on our fantastic guest, Michelle McCullough. So don't go away. We'll be right back to talk more on this Little Parent Stay at Home Radio on TogiNet right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Staying home? Working from home? Making your dreams a reality? We're working on it. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Allie Lopreet. And we'll be right back after these.
This is Allie Lopreet. Now, as you know, I have made it my personal mission to help 1 million parents bring their careers home. And I'm always on the lookout for the best work-at-home opportunities that's going to allow you to sign your own paychecks and be able to put your family first. That is why I am truly excited to be able to present a legitimate income-making opportunity to those of you who are truly serious about working from home. I've teamed up with my very good friend, Bridget Brady, and together we're going to be offering a free 30-minute teleseminar on the first Wednesday of every month so that we can show you how to make money online using an already proven system. You can reserve your seat by going to thislittleparent.com, and under the Business Opportunities tab on the right side, you'll find the registration link for this free 30-minute call. It's free, it's strictly informational, and it's already been giving a lot of parents just like you the resources to take control of their financial future. Go to thislittleparent.com to reserve your complimentary seat, and we'll see you there.
Do you know the power that you have as a consumer? You have the power to choose where to spend your hard-earned dollars. OurMilkMoney.com is an easily accessible online business directory that lists the products and services of self-employed parents. It's a great place for you to flex that consumer power of yours, and each time you do, you'll be helping a mom or dad afford the choice to stay home with their kids. Visit OurMilkMoney.com today to do your shopping, list your own business, or make a personal contribution to the global movement that's allowing business owners to put their families first.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Allie Lopreet.
If you're just now tuning in, I just wanted to pinpoint what we were talking about in the first segment. Really what I came away from when I returned from my trip to New York was really knowing what I want. Even if you have to carve out little goals for yourself, little goals can really add up to those bigger goals. The point is to really know, sit down for 5 minutes and ask yourself, what do I want? What is it I'm trying to achieve? And if you want to go big, then you need to know what that looks like for you. And you need to create a game plan that is in alignment with those big ideas and those big visions. And if your goal is to just maybe pay the bills. Like maybe your game plan is just going to be a little bit less. That's okay. There's no judgment on my part, not at all. Maybe it is just to pay the bills. Maybe it is just to earn enough to upgrade your life a bit. Maybe you're looking to replace your corporate salary so that you can say goodbye to those inexpensive daycares and that sadness that you have when you drop your babies off each day. That was my goal. And if that's what it is for you, that's fine. Carve out a game plan that helps you meet that intention. But I want you to know that all of it, every inch of your dreams is possible. And that's what we're here. That's what we are about here on This Little Parent Stayed Home Radio. Your dream is the American dream. Yours. That's the dream. Whatever works for you and your family. Not what someone else says. Not feeling inadequate next to someone in your industry who might have a different set of circumstances. You know what your reality is. Or at least you should. And you should set your expectations based on that. I've worked with moms who had a whole 40 hours a week to build their business. But I've also worked with moms who had only 6. 6 hours. If that's all you've got, that's all you've got. Let's just work with that. And I promise you, it can be done. I'm in that 6-hour work week until Henry goes to kindergarten. I've got a lot of big visions, and it's just not possible for me to dive into everything right now because I'm limited on time. It's not an excuse. That's the reality. That's my reality. But I'm still making that 6-hour work week bring me an income that is sustainable. That's what I have right now. And so it's all about how you manage your time, how you manage your ideas, how you manage your stress, how you keep your confidence level up, no matter who's throwing that negative energy your way. And we're going to get it. You're going to get these pitfalls. You're going to get these things that you weren't expecting. You're going to get your heart broken. You're going to get a lot of rejection. You're going to get a lot of no's. But I'd like to think that no matter what, This Little Parent Stayed Home is your go-to place. Where everybody knows your name. I feel like singing the Cheers song. I feel like singing. I went to a piano bar, Danny, that was unbelievable. I got to sing all night long, and it was just like I was in heaven. I could have stayed there for 3 weeks without ever leaving. But anyway, I want you to feel like this radio show, This Little Parent Stayed Home, this is your go-to place. This is where we're rooting for you. This is where we're cheering you on. This is not where you're going to hear your goals are not okay, or you're not working hard enough, or you're making excuses and you're using your kids as an excuse to not grow your business. I'm not going to tell you that. I am the one that's going to tell you that it can be done based on the set of circumstances that you are currently in. Whatever that challenge, bring it on. Once again, we are going to be opening up the phone lines a little bit later for today. If you have a challenge, let me hear it. We'll work through it together. That toll-free line is 877-864-4869. And right now, we are going to be bringing on our fabulous guest of the hour, Michelle McCullough. I'm so excited to hear from Michelle all about the tips that she has for productivity and marketing. I've heard wonderful things about Michelle. I loved working with her personally when she came on to TogiNet Radio, but I've heard wonderful things from a lot of other people in my pool. Lots of colleagues rave about her, and I just know that you're all going to get so much valuable content out of her interview today. So welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us on This Little Parent Stayed Home.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
I really did mean it when I said that your name has been everywhere. I think I wrote to you on Facebook and said, my gosh, everybody was just chatting you up a few weeks ago when I was in Salt Lake. So how's your show going on Make It Happen Radio?
It is so great. has been such a great opportunity for me to connect with new people in lots of different ways, and I just love the ability to be able to talk and to share, and it's just been a lot of fun.
I love it. Well, you are, and you're so good at what you do, and your show is really growing exponentially. And so that really is telling that when you have listeners that are coming to your show and they're sticking, that means that your content is pretty good. So I have so many questions for you. I know that you wanted to come to us today and talk to us about the struggles that a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners make with marketing. So what are some of those struggles?
Well, I think one of the biggest struggles more than anything else is, as you know, working with a lot of entrepreneurs that work from home or even work on a part-time basis, they'll call me and they'll say, hey, Michelle, I want to hire you for some marketing help. And within a few questions, I can find out it's not really that they struggle with marketing or that they don't have the ability to do it, but that they haven't scheduled the time to make themselves successful in it. And as a result, their pipeline is just dripping instead of flowing. And so it's really, to me, marketing is about learning some skills, but it's also about scheduling success to do marketing activities on a weekly basis and some on a daily basis to keep that pipeline flowing and making sure that marketing isn't a to-do list item, but something that we're actually mastering and controlling.
That's some really, really great advice. So what kind of things do you work on with your clients so that they can help achieve that? You can help them achieve that.
So I work through what I call the marketing productivity planner, which in a lot of ways is just a marketing plan with a pretty name. But the goal of it more than anything else is a lot of people consider plan to be like a 4-letter word, especially creative entrepreneurs that kind of hop around from idea to idea, much like you talked about. Yep. But I think that the goal is to sit down and decide and define what your marketing goals are, how you're going to achieve those goals, and then breaking them down into individual to-do list items. But instead of putting them on just a single to-do list, we help them plug them into their schedule on regular routines. And like I said, things that happen on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, so that they're regular items. And that marketing productivity planner also helps you track it so that you can say this worked and this didn't. And each week you're kind of looking at your activities and adjusting them so that you can really be doing the right things for your business and that you're doing them on a regular basis instead of doing them sporadically, which is what most entrepreneurs are doing.
That sounds fantastic. So this marketing productivity planner, is that something that you help us create for ourselves? Is it something that we just draw out on a piece of paper? Or do you actually have a planner that you can provide for anyone who's interested?
So I have pieces of a planner that I provide for anyone who's interested that are free, and I can share with you how people can get those. And basically, more than anything else, yes, I have a system. It's a digital system that people can use. I send out a few pieces of paper that are digital for people to get started. But more than anything else, anybody can kind of do this from home, just thinking to themselves, okay, what are my marketing goals? And then sitting down and saying what things need to be done on a daily basis, like social media, what things need to be done on a weekly basis, like pay-per-click campaigns, what things need to be done on a monthly basis, like advertising in magazines or publications, and then breaking it down. So though there are some pieces that I think are specific to clients, and I can help people do that, but I also think that just with a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, sitting down, I tell people that you can outline like an entire year's worth of a marketing planner in 2 hours if you just start thinking in terms of a calendar instead of thinking in terms of a checklist.
That is great. I can't wait to get my hands on this and see actually the productivity level that increases once you start organizing it. And like we were saying at the beginning of the show, we really do need that structure, especially for those of us who have so many ideas. We don't want to beat ourselves up for getting ideas. Ideas are good, but we want to be able to organize them in a way that does not impose on, what we need to do to actually keep ourselves present in our business. So I want to shift gears and back up just a little bit. Michelle, I would love to know about you. I would love to know your story. I want to know how, because I know that you have 2 children, and I know that you're a lot in the same boat that I am, where it's a struggle to work around your family's needs. And so I'd love to know how you became the great resource that you are today.
Well, it's interesting because we all have different turning points and different notches on our timeline that ultimately land us in the chairs where we are. But my story I started as an entrepreneur when I was 19, and I call myself an accidental entrepreneur because at the time I really never set out to own my own business or do it, but I had this opportunity to run a promotional products business that I started with $50 and a big dream and no idea what I was doing. And over time just grew to love the opportunity of working for myself. And that business is still running today. But then I also run 2 additional businesses from my home. And I've got kids ages 5 and 3, running around like chickens with their head cut off. And I'm just grateful for the internet and the opportunity to work online. And sometimes, like times like this, I have a sitter or something worked out for them. But other times, nobody can hear. My kids are screaming while I'm on a Twitter chat or doing something or sending some emails. So, what started out as an accident has become a giant blessing for me and given me lots of opportunities. And my business brain just moves and churns. And, 3 is kind of my max. So I always have that little list of ideas. And, I collect URLs like other people collect stamps and dishes,
Oh, really? You're one of those. You have a URL problem?
Yes, I'm one of those. Yes.
I've heard of people who have URL problems. URL hoarders, I think is what we've been calling them.
Like, oh, that's an idea. I got to go buy that domain. And then, I just pay every year for them until I have time to run 25 businesses at once instead of 3,
Well, I love that you can relate, especially because since you do relate and since you are as successful as you are, that gives the rest of us hope. I love it. And you're right. I feel exactly the same way that you do, that I would be nowhere without the internet, that there's no way that I would be able to accomplish everything that I'm able to accomplish, that I'm able to take phone calls, late at night, that I'm able to actually rely on the internet to do Twitter chats, like you said, that I can respond immediately from my smartphone without anyone knowing that I'm right in the middle of screaming at both my kids to get their shoes on. It's
right.
Really kind of that is.
I'm sorry, say that again. You cut out for a second.
I feel like there's these universal laws that all of us are abiding by when it comes to how we work with one another, how we are helping each other in pioneer this new industry, pioneer the new work-at-home mom entrepreneur business industry. So we're going to have to take a break, but it looks like I see the phone lines are lighting up, so it looks like we have some callers that probably want to ask you some questions, Michelle, because you're so brilliant and awesome. So,
you're so nice.
So, if you are interested in calling in and you'd like to get online to ask Michelle a question, again, that toll-free line is 877-864-4869. And I am your host, Allie Laprete, on This Little Parent Stayed Home. And when we come back, we will talk more with Michelle McCullough. You can find out more about Michelle at www.speakmichelle.com or www.michelleontheair.com. And I'd also like to cover some interesting facts about Startup Princess.
It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Allie Laprete. And we'll be right back after these.
If you're a self-employed parent, you know what it takes to run a business and a household at the same time. At OurMilkMoney.com, we get it too. And we connect you with other moms and dads who appreciate the value of your business and flex their consumer power to support you in your choice to work from home. Best of all, it's free. Visit OurMilkMoney.com today to get your home business some buzz and contribute to the movement that is truly changing lives, one family at a time.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Allie Laprete.
Welcome back to the second half of This Little Parent Stayed Home. I'm your host, Allie Laprete, and today we're talking with Michelle McCullough. We're talking about the Marketing Productivity Planner, which is going to be productive for all of you, especially if you're like me and you're all over the place with all sorts of ideas. And Michelle, I have to say, as I said in the last segment, I'm so completely inspired that you're somebody that also has so many ideas that you buy up all of these URLs. That's inspiring to me because I know how productive you are and I see the success that has come to you in your life. And I have kids around your kids' ages too. So it really does make sense that we as mom entrepreneurs have to get creative, and there's no better creative resource than the internet, right?
Amen.
All right. It looks like we've got a caller. It looks like we have got Marcia on the line. So welcome, Marcia. Thank you so much for calling into This Little Parent Stay-at-Home Radio. What can we do to help you today?
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I was wondering hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. We can hear you just fine.
Hello, you can hear me? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just heard you say hello and then it kind of broke out. I was wondering, when selling a product that's new to the market, what's the most effective tool?
Well, let me ask you first, what product are you specifically talking about? That's going to help me I'm the idea girl, so I would love to know, what product are you looking to promote?
It's actually an apparel accessory that I came up with a couple years ago, and I actually just started selling it online 2 weeks ago. And what it is it's they're called Magnificuffs, and it's strips of ribbon with adornments, and you use them as like cuffs for your pants. So it's kind of a fashion accessory, but it also serves the purpose of keeping your pants cuffed.
Okay, fantastic. So you're talking about actually like keeping them rolled at the bottom of your pants. Is that right?
Right. Like if I don't know if you know the convertible pants that you can roll them up and they have a piece of fabric that's actually sewn into materials, and then there's a button on the outside.
Yeah.
So this is basically the same thing, but it's magnetic, so it's interchangeable with any pair of pants.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you created this yourself?
Yes, I did.
Fantastic. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Michelle? Do you have any ideas for how she can get started promoting this great product?
Yeah, well, my first thing would be two things. Hopefully you have a website. Do you have a website that you can get started with so that you have some place to push people to get more eyeballs on your product?
I do. Currently, I have a Blogspot webpage. I have a www purchase for it, too. I'm trying to marry up the two. And then I also have an Etsy shop online.
Perfect. And then what kinds of successes have you had via social media? What are your social media outlets?
I am doing Facebook and Twitter with the Etsy shop. Whenever I post a product that I think has a good hashtag, I'll upload it onto Twitter. I haven't been getting much feedback from that, but I just launched that over the weekend. So with Facebook, I am getting I'm getting pretty good responses to the pictures. So, and I've had sales. I've had 5 sales, and I mean the product just went live like 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago. So, I know that everybody I've talked to about it has really liked it, but there is a little bit of confusion too, because it is new to the market, so nobody really kind of understands. So, yeah, I don't know if like maybe like a vlog. I've kind of toyed with the idea of that, like putting something on YouTube, or I don't know. I just don't know how to. Are you
working with Instagram or Pinterest, Marcia?
Yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Okay. I did set those up, but I'm not very, I'm kind of like a Facebook, Twitter girl, so I don't really know.
Yeah, and I love both those. Those are my social media platforms of choice, too. But, just to give you some background on how to really approach social media, and Michelle, I'd love to hear your opinion on this, too, is that there's so many different social media platforms, and we can be very overwhelmed by it all. There's just so many of them. And so what your job is as an entrepreneur is just to get to know the top, 7. Get to know the top ones that everybody is using. Understand how they work. And then you can choose the top 2 or 3 that most are going to benefit you. And because your product is visual, you're going to want to go towards Instagram and Pinterest. Those are the ones where you can actually take pictures of your product. You can have different people wearing them. You can launch an entire marketing campaign with those visuals. And you can tie Twitter in very easily. In fact, Instagram has a built-in hashtag tool, just like just like Twitter does. And that's really going to benefit you. I've known people that have grown their business by like 40% just by posting the right amount of pictures. And also with Pinterest, you can actually put a price point on Pinterest. It's like using like a magazine. It's like leaving through a magazine. People can actually go shopping. They use that, so that they can see, oh, I like this. This is in my budget. How much is it? Oh, it's right within my budget. And they can actually purchase right from Pinterest. So I highly recommend that you get to know those softwares or those social media platforms. What do you think, Michelle?
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I think it's too hard to be everywhere and to have a big, huge presence in every social media outlet, like Allie says. And so I think you should find it. And I agree with the visual imaging. I think that's key for you, and showing people how people are using them, highlighting customers that are using them and how they do it, I think is going to be really, really key. So examine that a little bit, play around with Instagram and Pinterest and see if that works for you. And the other thing I would recommend is right now is a really big time to be in holiday gift guides. And though Christmas is far away, all the selections are usually done by August or September. And so you'll probably have some success with the media since this is a brand new product. And I would spend some of your marketing time each week on reaching out to media locally so that you can be featured as a local entrepreneur, but then also nationally with your product so that you can get some free eyes looking at your product as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect.
And Marcia, just to kind of piggyback on that, I just came back from an intensive where we were talking very intensely about the benefits of doing your own PR and creating new buzz offline, because that's terrific free advertising, and it's going to help you establish that credibility in the marketplace. So you can bring your new product to talk shows, radio shows, magazines, newspapers. You can send out press releases, and you can also attach yourself to mom bloggers and those with influence. So you really do want to get the right people excited about it. So it's kind of like, there's opportunities for, the swag bags where you can actually put your product in swag bags, and you have that opportunity to get celebrities excited about it. Well, that can cost a lot. So if you don't have the budget to actually do that, you can still get a person of influence excited about your product. That isn't a celebrity. You can just talk about maybe the clout that people have in your community. Maybe there's a mom in your neighborhood with a lot of fashion sense, or maybe a local TV anchor in business, a real thought leader who, if you can get them excited about your product, they're just going to take it and run with it. And so there's a lot of ways to get other people talking and buzzing about your product in a way that won't cost you very much money offline as well. How's that sound,
this
Marcia?
is all a lot of great information. Yeah, because like what you were saying with the social media sites, it can get overwhelming when you're trying to dip into each pool, So I think focusing on the visual, the Pinterest and Instagram, I think that's definitely going to be the most beneficial, and those are the ones I've spent the least amount of time on. So I really appreciate that information.
Definitely. And Marcia, I'm actually hosting a free webinar that just happens to just tie in with what your needs are. I'm hosting a free webinar, and I think I only have a few spots left. I think we're almost at capacity, but it's free, and it's on August 4th. And if you go to the homepage, thislittleparent.com, and you scroll down, you're going to see that I'm hosting a webinar with Susan B. Zimmerman, and she's teaching Pinterest, and I'm teaching Twitter. And, it sounds like Twitter's really, really working well for you already, and that's terrific, but you're going to learn a lot about actually, I'm sorry, it's not about Pinterest, it's Instagram. You're going to learn from Subi, we call her Subi. You're going to learn how she used Instagram to promote her online. It's not even an online boutique. I think it's a live boutique that she has in the Cape near Boston. And she swears by taking those pictures and kind of carving out a timeline so that we can see kind of the behind the scenes of all the exciting things that you're doing with your product, all the people that are wearing your product. And like I said, it's a free webinar. We'd love to have you there. And I'd love to be able to bring you back on the show and have you fill us in on how those things worked out for you. What do you say?
Definitely. I think I would love to do that. Because that's
Great.
Like when I set up the blog, I have a personal blog too, and when I set up the blog for this, it was for that reason. And I had pictures of, girls' night I had where we were all, creating designs, and I wanted to put that on the blog, but it makes more sense to do it, you know, on the other networks, I believe.
Right, and the thing that I love about
awesome.
Instagram, the thing that I love so much about Instagram is that it is so easy to use. It's right there on your phone. You can go, you know, you can go to a conference and you can say, hey, can you wear my product, and I'm going to take a picture of you. It's so great and easy, and I love the way everything looks. It kind of, you know, the pictures that you take on Instagram, it gives you like this warm glow. So everything looks really cool and really like retro. So it's a great tool, and mobile marketing really is increasing. People are more on their mobile devices now than they are even on their phones. And so you're going to actually have greater reach by using things like Instagram. And we can talk about Pinterest on a later show. We just established, Danielle, right, that we're going to have a show on Pinterest so that we can teach you those tools and resources as well. But Marsha, I really do want for you to stay in touch with us. I'm sorry, Michelle, did you have something that you wanted to say before the break?
No, that was great. I think those are great ideas. I'm excited for you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the time and the advice, and I'm very excited, and I'm glad to have you guys with me on the journey. I think it's going to be awesome.
Well, like I said, we're always rooting for you here on This Little Parent Stay-at-Home Radio. And like I said, Marsha, please do call in. Let us know how this goes. And right now, as soon as you get off the line, I want you to go right to thislittleparent.com. Look for that icon that lets you in. You might get the last ticket to our joint webinar with me and Scooby-Doo, Instagram and Twitter. But I think that's really going to benefit you. When we come back, we will spend one more segment with Michelle McCullough. I have so many more questions for you, Michelle, on how we can actually put this marketing productivity planner in place. But I also want to hear about your involvement with startupprincess.com. I'm so intrigued by what you have created there as the managing director for Startup Princess. It's an international organization for women entrepreneurs. I know that you have 235,000 followers on Twitter. I know that it's been featured by Forbes. And I know that you are making a lot of great things happen for women entrepreneurs through Startup Princess. So when we come back, we'll find out more about that and how we can get involved. Stay tuned. Don't go away. We'll be right back on the other side.
Staying home? Working from home? Making your dreams a reality? We're working on it. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Allie Lopreet. And we'll be right back after these.
This is Allie Lopreet. Now, as you know, I have made it my personal mission to help 1 million parents bring their careers home. And I'm always on the lookout for the best work-at-home opportunities that's going to allow you to sign your own paychecks and be able to put your family first. That is why I am truly excited to be able to present a legitimate income-making opportunity to those of you who are truly serious about working from home. I've teamed up with my very good friend, Bridget Brady, and together we're going to be offering a free 30-minute teleseminar on the first Wednesday of every month so that we can show you how to make money online using an already proven system. You can reserve your seat by going to thislittleparent.com, and under the Business Opportunities tab on the right side, you'll find the registration link for this free 30-minute call. It's free, it's strictly informational, and it's already been giving a lot of parents just like you the resources to take control of their financial future. Go to thislittleparent.com to reserve your complimentary seat, and we'll see you there.
Do you know the power that you have as a consumer? You have the power to choose where to spend your hard-earned dollars. Our milkmoney.com is an easily accessible online business directory that lists the products and services of self-employed parents. It's a great place for you to flex that consumer power of yours. And each time you do, you'll be helping a mom or dad afford the choice to stay home with their kids. Visit ourmilkmoney.com today to do your shopping, list your own business, or make a personal contribution to the global movement that's allowing business owners to put their families first.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Allie Lopreet.
Welcome back to the final segment of This Little Parent Stayed Home. Oh, the show always goes by so quickly. We have some giveaways for you, so we're going to be talking about that in the final segment. Michelle has one, and I think I'm going to give away something as well, just because I'm feeling really, really giving today. The first thing that I'm going to be giving away is my Home Free Thrive Guide. I'm going to be giving away 5 copies to the first 5 people that want to email me. You have to send me an email to Allie at thislittleparent.info and tell me that you are looking for my free Thrive Guide. This retails for $34.99. It's a workbook that helps you lay out a game plan to quit your corporate job and come home and bring your career home. So if that's you, if that's the goal that you have for yourself this year, then I want you to have a copy of my Home Free Thrive Guide. It also comes with a 3-part audio series, and you're going to really, really love that. So go ahead and send me an email, Allie at thislittleparent.info. We only have the final segment, Michelle, and I feel like I could just talk to you forever. There's so much that I want to know. I'd really love to learn about your what your role is with Startup Princess. I love this organization, and I'd love for you to tell us about it and your role with it.
Sure. So Startup Princess was started in 2006 by my business partner, Kelly Anderson, and I came on in 2008 as a business development director and have quickly kind of become the managing director as Kelly has pursued her other business. We are all about multiple revenue streams, and so each of us have about 3 different things going at one time. But the purpose of Startup Princess is just to help women entrepreneurs grow businesses, and whether you're just starting out or if you have an established business that you're trying to take to the next level, we help women with free online resources. We've got about 1,400 blog posts on various business topics from marketing to legal and accounting and everything in between. And those are just available for free so that women have resources day or night. And then we also have live events and private coaching and consulting for those who want to go a little bit deeper. But we've got members all across the country and in 25 countries throughout the world, and we just are really involved, like you are, in helping women and individuals and entrepreneurs fulfill their business dreams so that they can spend more time at home with their families and also earning a paycheck that they make on their own terms.
I love it, and you're right. That is very much in alignment with the visions that I had when I started OurMilkMoney.com. So how can we get involved, those that are listening in? Is there a membership fee? How do you actually get started and get going in Startup Princess?
So the best way is, like I said, those resources are free for you online. There's no membership site. It's full public access, though we do encourage people to sign up for our email list because we do offer information to our members first. So just on our homepage at startupprincess.com, you can sign up and receive our newsletter information about live events, and then we send out video series to our members, and those are things that we just offer for free.
That is absolutely tremendous. And, you know, I, for one, really do appreciate having such a valuable resource out there for so many women and for bold men as well who are looking for those resources. Sure. Because it really, I know what it's like to be sort of at the end of your knowledge bank, you know, where you just go, I want to do this. I have big ideas. I have big visions, but I don't have a business degree. You know, I have a musical theater degree. I know that there's a lot of other people that didn't expect to venture into entrepreneurism. So it's really, really great that they can gain access to the knowledge that they wouldn't ordinarily have access to through great things such as startupprincess.com. So I really encourage everybody to go and check that out. Now, changing gears once again, going back to the marketing productivity planner, you had mentioned that there was actually a way that we could get our hands on that resource. Is that right?
Yes, there is. There's an easy way. I just created just a little simple work at home, what I call the marketing activity planner idea book. Just gets you started in starting to think about your marketing terms in terms of schedules instead of to-do lists. And so if you want, you can get that for free. Just text me. The phone number that you text is 88588. In the body of the text, you'll just put Michelle, Michelle, and then it will prompt you to send your email address. And so when you do, just put email and then put marketing productivity planner so I know what to send you, and then we'll send that right out. It usually only takes about 24 hours, and it goes through our little technology system, and you'll get that resource straight to your inbox for free. Again, the text number is 88588, and you'll put Michelle in the subject line and hit send, and then it will prompt you to do the rest.
That is excellent. Once again, that text is 88588. I am definitely going to do that as soon as the show's over, because I know that I could really benefit from having that marketing productivity planner. Anything that provides me with a little bit of structure is going to benefit me. So if you're a dreamer and you have big visions and you know you're kind of all over the place, this could be the very thing that you need. Now, Michelle, if anyone would like to work with you, like do you do coaching packages, or are you mostly just a speaker? How can we reach you? How can we get to know you more if we feel that you're going to be a tremendous benefit to us?
Oh, you're so kind. I do private consulting, and it's one of my favorite things to do, to help people fulfill their business dreams. And you can just email me directly at Michelle, MICHELLE, at startupprincess.com, and then we can set up a strategy session to get you started and see which things are best. Whether you have a dream in development or something already established, happy to help and chat through that.
I love it, and I love that you have been here with us today. Before we let you go today, tell us about what's happening on your radio show. How is it what's going on Make It Happen Radio?
So Make It Happen Radio is kind of the best of both worlds. I've learned over the years that it's not just about having business savvy, but it's about having your life in order too. So Make It Happen Radio is the perfect mix of figuring out how to live a life you love, whether that involves working for yourself or working for someone else. And then also, like we talked about, figuring out how to make all of your roles work. It's not just about your business hat. It's about your parent hat or your relationship hat or your friend hat. And so we kind of handle all of those things and look at success on broad terms and figure out how you can create a life you love and then go ahead and make it happen.
I love it. That's just exactly what so many of us could really use. So when can we listen to you?
So I am on the air on Mondays at 3 p.m. Mountain and 6 p.m. Eastern. So it's every Monday.
So you just had a
show. Great shows coming up. I did have a show today, yes.
I didn't even know that. I knew that you were on the network, but I had no idea how close to your actual show you're going to be coming on mine. That's fantastic. Well, we totally appreciate you coming on and all of the great things that you are contributing to the workplace.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate all you're doing and look forward to connecting with you and doing some joint ventures in the future.
Well, you know that I'm always up for that. Always up for new ideas, even if it's overwhelming. So anyway, thank you again. Thank you so much. Once again, if you would like to get that really remarkable marketing productivity planner from Michelle McCullough, all you have to do is text 88588, the word Michelle, and it will prompt you after that, and you'll be able to get your hands on that marketing productivity planner. Is there any last bit of advice that you would like to offer to the listeners here of This Little Parent Stayed Home, Michelle?
You know, it's funny that you say that because I thought, oh gosh, I want to tell her one thing. And it's something that I learned late in my entrepreneur journey, but it came to mind while we were chatting, and I wanted to just share it. I think that the biggest thing in either working at home or working for yourself, whether that is in an office or at home, I just would love to go city to city and help every entrepreneur know that they need to honor the path that they're on and that where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be, because I think it gets really easy for us to get caught up in the comparison. And I just think comparison equals despair on so many levels. And if we honor where we are and the needs of our family and the needs of our kids, it doesn't matter if we grow as fast as our friend who's an entrepreneur. It matters that we grow as fast as our family allows. And it gives us the freedom and flexibility to say, you know what, I'm not going to work this week. My kids need me. Or I'm going to work a little more next week because I've got a big project. And I think the key to living a balanced life is more about living in priority instead of making sure that you're equally balanced in all of your roles, because I think that equals craziness.
I love it. That's what you meant by the work-life balance myth, isn't it?
Yes.
When Danielle and I were wondering, we're like, I don't know, it's all about life balance, but I love that you said that it's all about keeping those priorities in balance. And something else that you just said that really did resonate was that we stay true to the path that we are on and that we honor it. Because you're right. You know, I just got back from New York, these amazing women entrepreneurs, these amazing powerhouses. It was an incredible experience, very, very hard for me to actually even arrange my schedule to get myself there. And what I found myself doing was I was sort of in this defensive place where I had to explain, my kids are young. I can't really, compete with, I can't, fire up that energy at the same level that you're all at right now. And what ends up happening is we end up, you're right, being defensive. And that's draining. It's draining energy. And it's so much better to just stay focused on where you're at, what your personal set of circumstances are, and what your personal goals are, rather than what everybody else is telling you you should do. It can get confusing, but as long as we stay clear on the path that we're on and honor that. Wonderful advice. I'm so, so glad to have heard that from you today. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of all the listeners, but especially from me personally. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
All right. Well, that has brought us to the end of this little Parent Stayed Home Radio. This is the show that we are working and rooting for you, and where we make our family a number one priority. So if you have visions of creating your own business so that you have the freedom to stay with your family, so that you don't have to put an employer or an employer's needs before your own or your family, this is the show where we can make that happen for you. Also, you can go and make it happen on Make It Happen. Just before this show, Michelle McCullough is on the Woohoo Radio Network, so be sure to check that out. And don't forget to tune in next week. We always have fantastic guests providing you with wonderful business, education, and content here on this little Parent Stayed Home. Always free, always rooting for you. Take a moment, pat yourselves on the back, because if you are working for yourself and you are self-employed, there's no one else that's going to do it for you. So pat yourselves on the back, give your spouse a hug and a kiss, hug and kiss your kids, and remember that you're already living the dream. The American dream is yours. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in.